There is a new player in the house, the Sportiva Prodigio, which is a lightweight, breathable, comfortable ride on dry technical terrain, and it's made for longer distances. It is a welcoming member in the Sportiva family. It's a new style of shoe, however, I think it loses some of the Sportiva specifics. After more than 80 miles running with the Prodigio, I have a pretty good feeling how this shoe feels like, what are the strong points, what are the weaknesses of this shoe, so let's dive deep into it. Aloha guys, and welcome back to another review video. If you've never been here, my name is Nandor. I'm a hiking guide and trail runner in Hawaii. Actually, today is my first review video which is not filmed in Hawaii. Right now I'm traveling in Europe, and at the moment I'm in Romania, where I'm gonna run my first sky race in 2 days, and my shoes gonna be the Sportiva Prodigio. Actually, I was thinking between two shoes to take it for my first sky race ever. I was thinking about the N-Normal Tomir 2 or the Sportiva Prodigio. I just figured that the Prodigio, it has more comfort on the longer technical terrain for me than the N-Normal Tomir 2, and my feet gets less fatigued in this shoe. If you are here to hear about the Prodigio's ankle color problem, I'm sorry to say, but I do not have that problem. Many people talks about in different reviews that they have a problem that the plastic in the ankle collar cuts into their ankles, and some people say they even have like really bad rashes, bloody rashes from the collar. I have no problems at all, so I'm not gonna talk about it because it doesn't affect me. If you take a look at the Prodigio's look and design, you see right away this is a very Sportiva specific color scheme. You have the yellow, you have the black, and they added this beautiful red color which makes the shoe look like a Ferrari, right? It looks pretty cool. I really like all the Sportiva shoes design. Now they have different colors. They have the blue and red and different color schemes, which is nice. So it's not just the typical black and yellow. First thing, when you pick up the Prodigio, you realize this is a pretty lightweight shoe compared to some other Sportiva trail runners. Of course, it's not as light as, for example, the Hoka Zinal 2 or some of the Hoka shoes, but I think for what the shoe offers, it's a pretty lightweight. When you look at the upper of the Prodigio, right away you see this is a really nice neat mesh material on the top with a lot of holes. I was just running a couple weeks ago in Spain in the early morning with dew in the grass. Right away I got wet, but half an hour later the shoe was actually dry, so it's definitely a breathable shoe. Now I think to cut weight in the front of the shoe, where they usually have this very rugged toe cap protection, which is a thicker material, it's kind of more approach shoe style like on the Bushidos or on the Akashas, they opted to use a thinner protection here. It most likely gonna be more sensitive this area than other Sportiva shoes. Now around the heel collar, there is a hardened material, a kind of plasticky material. They work pretty great. I know a lot of people have problems with the hardness of this area, but I don't have any problems, so I'm not gonna talk about it more. The shoelaces are the typical Sportiva roundish black and yellow shoelaces, which are pretty cool. The gusseted tongue is kind of a thinner tongue with less protection than the usual Sportiva shoes. It reminds me a little bit of the Tomir 2, which has a thinner tongue with a little bit of padding, which is just enough. Now, my only problem I have with this, I really have to watch how strong or how loose I tied my shoes, because if I tied it too much, that can hurt my feet. If I tie it too loose, it can have a problem that my feet is too loose in the shoes. One little cool addition in the heel collar of the shoe is a reflective line, which you don't see in many shoes, so that's a really cool thing. Let's talk about the Sportiva Prodigio's midsole. Yes, the midsole makes this shoe an incredibly comfortable ride compared to other Sportiva shoes. It is an X-Flow supercritical foam, which offers 15% more cushioning, more rebound, and it's 15% lighter than the regular EV foam they used in other shoes. Getting out and running on technical dry terrain, it is freaking amazing. However, don't expect from this midsole to be a super marshmallowy, very cushion feel to it. You gonna feel the ground, which is amazing because in technical terrain, you really wanna have that cushion, which helps you with the impact, but you wanna make sure you feel the ground so you can tackle those technical terrain with much more precision. To protect the midsole and your foot from rocks, they introduced like kind of a PU coated nylon mesh insert, which called, I think, the flow film, yes, and that will help protecting your foot and the midsole against rocks, which is pretty cool. I did try different kind of La Sportiva shoes in the past, at least 5-6 different kinds. I made a lot of reviews about La Sportiva shoes. I like them because their characteristics, but to tell you the truth, this pair of shoe, the Prodigio, is probably, if not the most comfortable La Sportiva shoes I ever wore, and that was the reason I considered this to my Sky Race instead of a normal Tomir 2, which is another comfortable shoe, but the La Sportiva stability and protection, it's just better. After the comfort, another really important thing about the shoe is the fit. If the shoe doesn't fit you, well, it's not gonna work well for you. And La Sportiva is a little bit trickier than other companies, right? So you really have to figure it out, your La Sportiva numbers, before you buy the shoe. What I suggest, go up half a number bigger right away. So that's what works for me. Some people tell me they need to raise their numbers one full size bigger to work, but for me, half a number. So if you are, let's talk in US, you wear number 9 like me, La Sportiva 9.5 will work pretty much perfect, at least for me. Another really important part of a trail running shoe is the sole and the traction, right? La Sportivas are usually very good with their soles. The traction on their shoes are usually very, very good, mostly in dry technical terrain. This one features the Friction XT 2.0 dual compound soles, which means that they put more in the middle, the more stickier rubber, and on the side, the more durable rubber. I tried it in mostly dry terrain, rocky terrain. They work perfectly. You can climb, you can scramble with this shoe. They're gonna hold very well. I tried it on some wet terrain and they were fine. I would not use it in muddy conditions. What I mean by muddy conditions, Hawaii muddy conditions, where the mud, it's real deep. This is not gonna be enough to tackle those terrain, but other than that, I think this is just enough for most of the trails. I really love La Sportiva shoes because they are very stable and protective shoes. Now, the Prodigio is a very stable shoe, really good fit. The midsole and everything together makes it a very stable shoe. Protection on this shoe is a little bit less than other La Sportivas, but that I think because they wanted to save weight, and as I said before, you know, they minimized a little bit the protection around the shoe. They are thinner materials, so they are not as protective as other La Sportivas. One of the characteristics of the La Sportiva shoes that they are very durable, right? They can go through a lot of abuse. You know, sometimes the lugs are gone and everything, but the shoes are still intact. However, the Prodigios might be a little bit different. The durability of this Prodigio, it's already concerning, and I was only just running some technical terrains, of course, but dry terrain, not too aggressive, and I have a lot of damages already on the shoe, mostly on the front part. I use my forefoot to attack the rocks. I think that's where I have most of the damages. Even the lugs in the front are already pretty shredded, so I'm concerned that they're not gonna hold that much. By the way, if you have a Prodigio, let me know what you think about this shoe, how you like it, what you don't like about it, if you have any problems with the ankle color. I'm really curious what you guys think. The Prodigio comes in a very interesting price. It's $155. Now, it's interesting because most of the shoes are around 140 or 170 and over. So I feel like they kind of price the La Sportivas right between the lowest and the higher price, right at 155. It's an interesting price. I think it could be a little bit lower, maybe 140, but you know, it is what it is. Nowadays the prices are just going up, so 155 it's okay. And if you can run a couple of ultras in this or some of the, you know, mountain marathons, I think it's already worth the price. If you decide to buy this pair of shoes, I have an affiliate link in the description. You can buy it from there. It's not gonna cost you anything extra. It's just gonna support my channel. And thank you for that. The question is, who is this shoe for? Well, I use this shoe for hiking in the Picos de Europa National Park in the Rocky Mountains of north of Spain. They worked out great for hiking, for technical hiking. I ran in a lot of places in Spain and in Romania, and it just works really great. If you are planning to hike, run a race on a dry terrain, this shoe works perfectly. If you are somewhere maybe in Scotland or Ireland where it's just super wet everything, maybe on wet days this is not the perfect fit for your run, but other than that, I think it's a great shoe to have in your rotation, and I think it's made for less technical, longer distances if you ask me. However, I'm gonna use it in a sky race, which is pretty technical, and I think it's gonna do really great.